real. Tell me how you.
Oh, what a sweet day!
Rated F City. How you
What's
doing?
up?
As you guys can see, we got a 4-person panel today. This is the first time that we've ever tried anything like this. We got the 2 favorites of ours. We love having conversations with them, so why not make it a full forum with the PrimeTime Nino? Gotta let us see yo, leave a Leo. And Jay Xavier himself, the
Whoa.
notorious Ace.
You can't just say no. It
Well,
is
we do.
the face of the place, the leader of the race. Almost forgot, but I am the notorious Ace, the JPW undisputed champion, Jay Xavier. Robbie?
I love it. Correct me when I'm wrong, baby.
Hey, right there, we got a dog in the house. We got the dog in the house.
Correct me when I'm wrong, baby. How y'all feeling today?
I had no idea we were getting promos this early. This is great.
Oh, it's always a
promo
great day
starts.
for a promo.
Great.
Yeah, he's always in character.
He's always ready. He's got the belt on. Yes.
Yeah. And we got the wrestling feeling today because we're going to have quite the conversation, guys. We're going to have quite the conversation.
Get ready to have a lot of faces that are going to look like this today, guys, because I right now know that his face is looking like this today.
Yeah. Oopsie. It's gonna be in that kind of territory. But
oh, yeah.
As you guys know, like and subscribe. Let us know what you want to talk about. If not, we're going to talk about what we want. Today, we got an interesting topic. We got the difference in your feels and opinions. Your opinions. The difference between the Vince era of WWE and the Triple H era of WWE. Now it kind of gets convoluted because Vince has been in power for a very, very long time. So you could say the last 5 years compared to now, because it's kind of like when NXT took over and like giving Triple H that NXT gold feeling and what he's doing with the WWE right now in the main roster compared to what Vince was doing for the last like 5-6 years. So I'll make it really interesting.
You know, the really quick off rip, I'm gonna jump in on this. Vince's feel. So he left when he took on the company. He took on with a wildfire. He took it from his father. He bought it from his father. Whatever way you want to look at it, he pretty much took it around under the rug. The same way as he won the company is the same way as he lost the company. It got taken from him. The rug was pulled really quick.
Yeah.
I think definitely you can see that. Yep, that's the Triple H said, "Oh, you got a scandal."
Called Nick Khan.
I'd like to start off, man. Let's start off with PrimeTime. What do you think? What's your feelings about what's going on in WWE right now? There's a whole cluster of things.
As a wrestling fan for my whole life, I can't act like I didn't love WWE at one point in my life. So growing up, obviously, all we had was WWE and WCW. Now we have so many other different companies to where there's so much more options for you to watch. You know, you don't have to sit and watch Monday Night Raw if you're really not feeling like it. Like, for a long time, I don't think as a wrestling fan that I could say, you know what, I'm going to boycott WWE because I'm tired of getting the same crap every month. I couldn't necessarily do that in 2008 because there was nothing else to watch. I mean, you know what I mean? There was Impact and stuff like that, but there was no other big companies around where you can find something else to watch and not feel like you're missing a void, you know, in wrestling. So WWE was the only option, and for the last transition coming from, you know, their introduction into the PG era and changing their ways and just going into a more marketable standpoint as a company, they had to change the way that they did wrestling. It wasn't wrestling anymore. It was sports and entertainment, which
it was theater.
Around all the time.
It was theater. It was a showcase. It was the male version of novella.
But I enjoy that Correct. And as a Dominican man, I love me enough. So I love that too. But it just, for me as a fan, I grew apart from WWE. I'd say probably like 2-3 years ago is where I was really like, you know what? I don't have to watch every pay-per-view just to be upset at the end. I don't have to
Mhm.
watch.
You're kind of freezing up like Vince in a courtroom.
God, already.
Rep. Told you, off rep.
Get that hush money ready. Get that hush money ready.
I know we're having a little
Almost
bit of
paid.
issues. I know he's on the road.
Yeah, he's on the road, so please
Jay's
pardon him.
killing it. Yes,
That's
please.
crazy.
Pardon my connection issues.
Nice.
But yeah, like I said, becoming a father kind of changed things for me too, because I didn't want to waste any time on anything. The Simpsons. I didn't want to watch anything that wasn't valuable to my time. I guess I could say. So AEW came along and gave me a fresh something to look at, fresh something to watch. But I was torn because the Triple H era in NXT was slowly fading, and now it was becoming Vince and Bruce's NXT. And it was like almost like you get this little, you get a little hope in NXT, like, oh man, I don't have to watch Raw and SmackDown, but I could watch NXT. I could watch NXT on Tuesday nights and get my satisfaction from there. And then it just became what it became, the 2.0. So comparing the two eras now, when we all found out the news about Vince, I think as wrestling fans, whether you love or hate Vince, you respect or disrespect Vince, that the transition of power was going to mean something great for not only the WWE, but for wrestling in general. I mean, AEW wasn't really being put in a position of compromise because WWE didn't really look at them as competition, and AEW wasn't looking at WWE as competition. So it was kind of like two separate entities that were just living on their own. Triple H took over, and Tony Khan looked as frantic as Vince McMahon.
He told CM Punk with a broken foot, "You better get your ass back.
You better go out there and get squashed by Mox because we need that belt off of you." Like ASAP. You know what I mean?
We need those ratings, everything.
And you can tell in the product of AEW right now, it's frantic. You can tell backstage there's some type of miscommunication between management and the higher ups and the superstars or the wrestlers, whatever you want to call them in AEW. There's definitely a disconnect. People don't seem like they know what's really going on in AEW. For God's sake, we don't even have a pay-per-view confirmed. I'm sorry, a pay-per-view main event confirmed for their biggest pay-per-view of the year. And it's a week away. So I feel like this is all a product of Triple H getting power in WWE and bringing some type of attention and traction back to that side of the wrestling world.
Let's also look at it this way. Look at it this way. Triple H came on the first 2 weeks of him being there. All of a sudden, Tony had to look at his guys and be like, "Listen, remember, you're happy with us." It almost had to look like those fake families. It's like we're a family still, guys. We're still together. And then he had to go and reach out to WWE legally and said, "Do not tamper with none of my guys." How scared are you? I've seen. Listen, WWE, say what you want during the Monday Night Wars with WCW. I never heard that Eric Bischoff had to reach out and say, "Guys, please don't steal my guys. Don't even think about doing this."
It was Eazy-E telling that to Vince. Oh no, Vince telling that to Eazy-E. I mean, it was Vince telling that to Eazy-E.
Yeah, don't
be talking to my guys. You can take the old guys.
Yeah, you can take all the old ones.
And then Nash and Diesel.
You could have the toys that I'm done with.
And Scott left. Nash and Scott left and jumped ship night. It's pretty much the same night.
But if this is going to be anything like that, because we're still in the very early stages of this. Triple H has only been in power for a month, if that. So I think we're still in the really early stages of that. So we haven't really gotten to see the full spectrum of what this new war is going to be like. There is going to be a lot of contract tampering. people being communicated within companies like this. Clearly, people on AEW side that are unhappy about the way that they've been used since they made their switch.
Mhm.
But you could say the same thing about WWE, that there's probably people in WWE right now that have been there for a while, that had a somewhat solidified spot, and now they have to worry about all these talent that left, that got released, that are now open to come back. Because what
But
happens is it's like,
this is where you're gonna see the disconnect from a lot of the AEW guys and a lot of WWE guys. This is where now you're the shit's hit the fan. WWE is gonna sit back and look, and I say WWE, I say Triple H. Really, he's gonna sit there and go, okay, what's bringing the ratings? He's gonna give everyone their time to shine, but he's gonna look like, if you're not bringing the ratings and you can't do it, we're gonna give you a shot again. If it doesn't work,
Mhm.
I'm gonna get on to the next guy who's actually giving me the ratings.
you
Because
gotta move
Triple
the
H
bus.
is looking at AEW as a WCW type company. He knows that they are a big deal, and him
Mhm.
knowing that they've lost a lot of the rating wars, even on different days, he's gonna be like, no, I'm going to go ahead and fix this, and watch me fix it now. Which is gonna happen. What will happen is that he's gonna get a lot more open ideas from a lot of the wrestlers, because guess what? When he was a wrestler, he did that. He went to Vince's ear and said, "Hey, I want to do this with DX," or "Hey, I want to do this with this," and he ran with it because Vince McMahon trusted him. So I think Triple H is gonna look at his key
Mhm.
guys, and he's gonna do the exact same thing and bring that
Yeah,
attention where they're gonna say, "Hey, I think
Oh,
we need to change it up and let me do this with my character." And Triple H is gonna look at him and goes, "Do you believe in it?
yeah.
Run with it."
the real question and
And I
the
feel
real
like a
struggle
lot
that
of
they
his
have.
key guys.
Sorry, we had
No, go
flashing
ahead,
Go
right
Robbie.
there.
Go ahead.
ahead.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I
You
feel like
good.
a lot of his key guys, like if you see like the ones that are coming back, as you said from earlier, like it's already a month that he's been in, and he came out with a bang with SummerSlam, especially with that, and it's just like this. I chose this photo for a reason because his key guys are from NXT, but remember what Vince did to NXT,
Right.
especially obviously NXT Black and Gold, because he's wearing like that black eulogy shirt, the sports coat,
He was saying
and
that day was
it's like
him saying his prayers for the company.
right, and then
Yeah.
they made it that NXT 2.0, but it's just like that was his heart and soul. He put everything into NXT Black and Gold, but a lot of the guys and girls that are coming back are NXT people. Like take a look at what happened at SummerSlam. We got you
Blew
got
me
Dakota
away.
Kai, you got your Io Sky, you have Bailey coming, and then like a week later you got guys like Killian Cross coming through from and his wife is Scarlett, and then what the night after, or like the Monday after, you have Dexter Lumis coming back in. So it was a SmackDown right
Yeah.
after, boom,
Raw.
Hit Row came
Raw.
through. Huge. Like he's bringing back
Hit Row.
people that he knows move the needles,
Speaking
and
of Hit
not too
Road,
long ago,
Jay Xavier
boom.
kind of looking like top dollar right now in
No,
today's
I know it
podcast.
is not
Top peso.
spit it better, not a.
Top
So
penny.
that's so it's
Peak
like
peso.
peak peso,
I'm at the peak,
peak peso.
even though I'm
You're
broke.
terrible. So it's a real big question of who's gonna come back, and who's gonna move that needle in a sense, because you got Brock Lesnar that's out, and you have
Mhm.
Roman Reigns that's on his way out as
Mhm.
a going into part-time status. So you can't rely on some of these dudes right now. So you got to build not only your crowd to like these people and understand what they can do, but you got to build these people into your new superstars very quickly. Uh, I would say
But
And
before
I
Survivor
don't have
Series.
any issues with Triple H trying to make a whole new character, because I definitely think he can push these guys and take them to a whole new world. Let's start off with the big one that you start off when he came in. This pay-per-view, with not only was these three coming back, was big because there was talk that Io Sky, or aka Io Shirai from before in NXT, was going to leave the company, but now you were able to save Io. You were able to bring back Dakota Kai, which I think she had been ready, but they had nothing quote unquote for her. And then you bring back Dakota Kai.
Yeah,
I'm talking about
EO or
Bailey.
Bailey?
Bailey.
Bailey.
I don't know.
I think-
They took a couple weeks to let her go back into the ring.
I
She
think
just made her return
Io
like last
was-
week.
But I think she could have been an on-screen presence, and I definitely
Io
felt
was
like
halfway to Japan.
She
Yeah.
was. She
Right.
was on a plane.
about to
They
leave.
had to stop
Right.
her. Triple H ran and go, wait,
Please,
I got
I'll
rice
give you anything.
and sushi for you. Come here.
Rice and
I'll give
sushi.
you anything.
Come back. Y'all
Come
make
back.
sense.
Rated F is sponsored by the letter R for racism. Anyways,
Yeah. Or at least Felix is. I had
I-
nothing to do with that one.
I
There goes
don't,
the
I don't
sponsors.
condone.
When they have a
I
press
don't
conference
condone
and you
any
just
of
see
the
the guy
things that-
get up and leave.
I
Walk away.
attest to eat both of those. I have rice and sushi on deck at all times.
Wow.
You will not ruin my Japanese tour. Felix. Don't you dare mess with my money like this.
Yeah, you messing with a lot of incomes right now with your comments.
Japan, sir, you're touring Chinatown. Get out of here.
You're gonna be over in Orlando downtown area.
Oh
There's
No
no
Papi
no!
Chapo at the Rising Sun. I'll tell you that right now.
No way! You mean I'm not performing at the Benihana's on Saturday?
Yeah, no, we can't be doing that.
No, it's
Can't
the
be doing that,
Sukihana.
The Sukihana,
You're gonna be performing at the Panda Express. Shut the hell up.
the China Palace. Oh man!
Japan don't
Not
want
the
you. You're
Chinese-
going to China.
Not
China.
the Chinese food
You know-
store at the mall.
You know your career is over when you hear your music at Tropical Cafe when you're trying to get this music.
Oh,
And you're like,
oh,
No,
man.
when you know your career's
This is
over when
if
you're
I-
doing gigs at Vegas. When you're sitting at Tropical Cafe, then that solidifies it.
That's
Right.
Don't even
Right.
think about performing at your son's birthday party. That's the bottom, son.
Yeah, you can't. Your son is gonna deny it.
When you're doing your own gigs.
That better be leisure.
Listen, don't judge my life and what I do with my kids. Okay, my kid loves my music. He will party all day.
Oh,
But
we do too. We appreciate it.
to clarify something that was being said earlier about the spots and the transition of power where he's bringing all these people back, carrying cross. The Johnny Gargano thing was huge. I don't think people
Yes.
understand yet how big the Johnny Gargano comeback was. I marked out, and I don't typically mark out as an adult nowadays. So like when something happens and I mark out to it, it's a pretty big deal. And you can ask my wife, Johnny Gargano coming back, because it was so unexpected for me. I mean, they're in Canada. It wasn't something that was promoted. It wasn't something that, thank God Triple H is in power and WWE didn't do a stupid ass video package or a cutscene package in Raw. Johnny Gargano after the commercial break. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like,
I love
It was
how
just
subtle
all
that
done
was. It was just like
countless
send him out.
times.
Send
You
him
know,
out.
And the
and
and
part,
people-
see
the
how
part
he
that
does.
people aren't thinking is even bigger is that he's been rumored to go into AEW, and the big show that he was
AEW.
going to show up at AEW in Cleveland. The same week
Yes.
they're in Cleveland, he's over in Canada.
in Canada. So it's like, you know what I mean? It's like that old school WCW versus WWF type. Hey, what is Lex Luger doing on Nitro? He literally just did the pay-per-view last night, and now he's on Nitro the next night.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
that type of vibe. You know
It
what I
definitely
mean?
It's
had
an
that type of
interesting
feel.
environment. It's an interesting environment because with
But
Triple
this
H
is
and
going to
Vince,
change in a few months. How many spots are there going to be? Like, because you have Raw and SmackDown for
Exactly.
WWE. You already have people that you're transitioning from the main roster back to NXT. So there's all these
Yes.
spots that need to, you know what I mean, need
need to
adjustment.
be filled and need
We
to
don't
be
know what's
adjusted.
we don't
I'll
know
tell
what's
you what.
happening with certain.
Triple H is doing one good thing, and I think one thing, and you just hit it right now. One thing is that he's transitioning people to different parts of the show, and I like that he's doing that because he's making NXT another brand. It's not the
Yes.
developmental. It's not anything that. It's not this 2.0 where you go in and train it. No, he wants these guys to hit there and say, "Look, I'm just as good on the main roster as I am in NXT." And an NXT guy is going to the main roster are going to look at it. It's going to be so seamless that NXT will be a lot of where you bring your younger talent, but it won't be where you're going to be the main young talent. You're going to be seeing a lot of veterans who may
Yeah.
need additional work here or may need additional
Like
wrestling.
guys like
Right
Dolph
there.
Ziggler and,
Maybe
like
need
Mandy
character development.
Rose that they do better down in over, I should say, and
Or even
NXT
something as
2.0.
small as Dexter
Yeah.
Loomis kidnapping Miz on Raw but getting arrested
Oh,
on
God,
NXT
yes.
the next night.
And writing-
This
writing love
man
letters.
crossed the border and still was
Indy
able to
Harlem.
get found.
Yeah, right.
That's a huge. But to Jay's point, that's another thing that people need to like pay attention to. There's a certain crossing of the brands, and things make sense in WWE right now. Everything that's happening in WWE is crossing into the next show. Something that happened on Raw is being followed up on SmackDown. Something that happened on SmackDown is being followed up on NXT. Like the Dexter Loomis.
Storylines are
There's a
being
storyline being
remembered.
crossed over. Indy Hartwell has nothing to do with the storyline that's
Now she does.
going on.
Yeah.
But now
Yeah.
she
I heard
does.
she's gonna be called up.
That's what I'm hearing too, and that's
Yeah, I
another.
heard.
You know what I mean? It's just addition
Indy
to
Hartwell.
addition to addition.
She's going to
Indy
show up because she's
Hartwell.
going to pay the hush money. I mean, bail money.
My God.
Don't make me bring him.
All that toxic attraction got Vince in trouble.
Oh,
Damn.
dang.
I'm so happy y'all are coming with these Vince jokes because listen, don't get me wrong, I love Vince McMahon, and
Oh,
I
yeah,
know
of
this
course,
is a little
yeah.
bit scrambled in thought, but you know, people are getting on Vince about this hush money stuff. But to be fair, he's just doing some billionaire shit here. Let's just be
He is. He's
completely
just doing
What billionaire
something
hasn't
that
paid hush
billionaire
money?
gonna do.
First
He's
off,
surrounded by
let's-
these ladies. You're gonna do something.
First things first, he's been separated from his wife for over a decade.
News to me, by the way.
Yeah, I
know.
heard. I just recently heard about that one.
They've
Wow.
been separated
They
for
kept that
over
under-
a decade, not even living in the same home. The only reason they don't have a divorce is because they're billionaires, and who wants to pay all that money and all this alimony and split all this money when all you have to do is stay married on paper and just be like, hey man, we cool, you know what I'm saying? If you need something, hit me up. I got you.
Right.
I got $1 million in the stack. Like,
And it
it's
wouldn't
just being,
be-
they're old people. They're old billionaires. What do they have to get divorced
what's
on
right.
paper for? You know what I mean?
And
So
it hurts
he's
both of their
just,
pockets.
he's living his best life, and what he did
And
was
her political career, because I think she was running for Senate in Connecticut or something like
yeah,
that.
she was
Multiple times.
Well, no,
she
she
was
won.
trying to get
She won. She was in the White House too under Trump.
she was
Oh,
yeah
wow.
she was about to take it.
Yeah.
Yeah, she had what was her position? I don't know what the position was, but she was a part of his cabinet. So it's like
My question is though, if he's such a billionaire, why the hell he had to replace his elbows with tennis balls, bro? What is that?
Oh,
Like,
why?
what is that, bro?
What
Like
is
Jesus
up with
Christ.
those elbows?
Hey, look here.
Them things are like Jesus.
So he's not
Like, I don't-
cosplaying John Cena though?
Well,
Is that
that's
not what he was doing? Was he not cosplaying?
That's what he was trying to do.
He's just
They
an old
say,
man
oh, he's
with
out
old
with a
man
mystery.
problems.
I still think he was on the date with John Cena.
Could be. Could be that. I don't doubt it. You know,
Hey,
they're
if he
doing
is,
billionaire
let him
shit.
be. If he is, let him be. He a player. He's always been. He's been talking about his great group for like 25 years. So
The
of
only
course
thing
he's
he
gonna
did
be
wrong-
the sick man.
The only thing Vince did wrong was he used company money instead of his own money to give to these women to keep them, you know, hey, don't say this out loud. We did stuff, but like, don't say anything. And, you know, I don't want to get on the press about this. This is literally what all rich dudes do at strip clubs. It's just normal activity. I call it what you
Don't
want.
tell him I was here.
He shouldn't have used company money. That's what he did wrong. But like,
He
I
did.
think
You know what he did? He literally pulled a Wayne's World and threw money while he kept
never
doing this.
happened. This never happened.
Because I'm telling you right now, every time that man started talking, every time I heard a lot of stuff that came out of his mouth, you were like bullshit. And then every time now afterwards, you're like major bullshit. Like, how are you
Major
sitting
bullshit.
here and trying to sit there and after the allegations come up on WWE's TV and sit there going, hey, I love you guys, blah blah, but bullshit. You're trying to show face. He knew he was done. He knew he was done. He did his last hurrah on TV and then slowly was gonna go weep and go out.
He said,
I
"Welcome."
mean, did you see his retirement speech? His retirement speech was pretty much welcome to Monday Night Raw. All right, y'all. Peace out.
All right, y'all.
Have fun.
I'm gonna send the smoke
I'm
nigga.
out. Yeah, like
Welcome. Don't forget. Now, and forever. Later.
Yep.
He was like, "What
Bye.
hush money?" I don't know what you guys
Then,
talking about.
Very,
Don't you
very.
forget
He really did one. He really did one of that.
I think he knew
He
even
pulled a
further than
Tyson.
that.
He was just like, I don't know. I don't know what y'all talking about.
Dead
No, that
ass.
was actually that's Triple
I don't
H's
know what
face
y'all
when he heard,
talking
"Oh, you lost, you got to." Oh, damn, man, my bad. Shoot, no mind if I take over the business.
Oh, dang.
No matter if I take over.
Yeah.
Sorry,
I
Pop.
think-
And you know
I
what
got the
that
deal.
meeting was like? You know what that meeting was like when the allegations came out, the article came out on Wall Street Journal. You know the meeting is Vince, Stephanie, maybe Shane's there, Nick Khan, Triple H.
Yeah.
They're all sitting at the table. Nick Khan, Triple H, and Stephanie are holding hands under the table. And they're like, Vince, come on. This is the best thing to do here is just go away. Just act like this shit never happened. You go to Cancun, have a good weekend in Mexico. We got this. And at that point, it was a victory dance between Nick Khan, Stephanie McMahon, and Triple H because they've been waiting. They've been waiting for some shit like this to pop off because it took this to pop off for Vince.
I know. I didn't think we were gonna see this at all.
Nobody ever thought we were gonna see him leave.
I thought he would have
company.
kicked out at 2. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah. To be
honestly
honest with
thought
you,
we would
I'm
see him
thinking
there till he died.
like, yeah, for real. Like for real. It's like he was not gonna let go. He's
honestly
not that type of person.
I honestly thought he was gonna be here to the end, and that you were gonna have to pry this from his cold dead hands to get this going.
You know, I think like if Triple H and Stephanie are definitely business oriented people, like what's best for business, like when they had the corporation, that play going on and that storyline going on, it was always
he's a member of Planet Fitness killed me just now.
Swear to God.
Not his gym.
It's such
Give the man his gym member.
Dang, dude. At least give him like sporter membership, something more high end. Equinox up north or something. He gave him Planet Fitness.
They brought 2 dumbbells to his front door, just like here.
It was a Planet Fitness. It's not just
you
a
can't
Planet
do
Fitness.
much with those tennis ball elbows anyway.
It's a Planet Fitness in the middle of Sebring, Florida, population 5,000. Like they put him in the heart of nowhere.
He was like, "Damn it, I'll go vacation with Trump," and then the FBI broke down to Mar-a-Lago. So
yeah, he turned that car right around.
He was like, "I'll turn. Can I trade this ticket in? I'll go, coach."
It really does feel like Vince got like bamboozled into this shit, and he has no say in the matter at this point. He knows that staying a public figure would just continue to lessen the value of the company, and if all these talks about WWE trying to potentially sell at some point is a real thing, even if it's not, why would you stick around and lessen your company because of bad publicity, bad press? You know what I mean? Something as bad.
Had it been a wrestler, he would have killed him. He would have gone. They would have blown up in a limousine, and he would have just been gone.
Any allegations and nothing. Yeah, I was just thinking about him too. I'm like, yo, where is this dude? Like, did they 100% get him?
He's Velveteen Dream. He's at the kids' pickup line at the elementary nearby.
Get out.
Okay, riding a tricycle.
He's scouting prospects. That's what he's got his own NXT to worry about.
Because he was so good, and then that came out, and I was like, oh crap, he's gone. He's gone. For sure.
He was gone.
But like a second later, he was gone. They didn't even wait until next week.
Isn't it a shame when people who are like really, and forgive me, but people who are really good at their job, like we're just talking about Velveteen Dream, the wrestler here. When you think about Velveteen Dream and what he did in NXT when he was there, probably the most entertaining star there in his time, or one of, and then it turns out to be something so disgusting as to what he was accused of
Mhm.
It's like, dang, bro. Like R. Kelly could have really been the best R&B singer of all time, and then he peed on kids. You
Yeah,
know, I can't forgive
but
you
you
for
could have
that. Now you
peed
ruined
on
it.
I'll
anyone,
still listen
and
to
you
some of his
chose
songs. I ain't
to.
gonna
Pee
lie.
anywhere else.
Yeah,
Pee anywhere else, and you're the greatest
this.
R&B singer of all
You could have
time.
pissed
But
in
now
the
you
sink.
pissed on a child. You could have pissed in the sink. You could have got a freaking gallon of water, dumped it out, and peed in a gallon of water. But you
You could have
decided
peed
a
in the
child.
neighbor's
But you
yard
had
for
to
all you
pee on
know.
little Michaela over there. God damn
Yeah,
it.
dude, that's
Jeez.
weird.
Stupid.
You got how many girls in those videos that you use? Like
It,
all the
yeah.
other like legit legal.
I tell you what,
like,
not to change topic, but that
music videos.
R. Kelly
With
songs
him?
have a whole new meaning to me now.
A whole new meaning, right?
Every time I hear Ignition, I go, ooh. What's the key and what are you
Sound right.
igniting?
My mind's
Yeah,
telling me no.
guess
Oh God.
guess what? As a DJ, I will let you know. I've done multiple gigs where people come up to me and say, "Hey, can you play such and such by R. Kelly?" And I just have to be like, "Yeah, I got you." And no, I'm not. No,
Just
because
play
I'm
the
not gonna
song
stay
peeing
here.
in the toilet.
Okay,
Yeah,
I'll
Same
play
thing.
something close to it, but I ain't playing him.
Same thing.
You know what I mean? I just can't bring myself to it. You ruined it. You pissed on a child, and then you ruined Aaliyah. Go away.
Facts. He ruined Aaliyah
Go
first,
away.
then pissed on a child. Don't forget now because he ruined all his music. He ruined Space Jam.
Ruined Space Jam. I
Oh
can't
yeah,
even watch Space Jam anymore.
I do, and when the song comes
yes
up, I
he
just
is.
mute it.
Yeah, but
It's
yeah,
terrible.
canceled. He canceled himself. How you
Canceled.
doing that in this era? Usually, I'm surprised
You
YouTube
not
hasn't
only
taken us
canceled
off
yourself,
there.
but you gave yourself an interview. You cried on the interview. It
And
was recorded. It wasn't
Y'all
even live.
killing me,
Still cried.
man. Y'all killing me.
I do have to say, he
That's
went
what
kicking
that's
and
what Vince
screaming.
that was
drowning
Vince
in piss.
McMahon at that exact same moment when all that's broke out. He's like, y'all killing me.
Y'all killing me,
I've given
man.
y'all
Y'all
40 years
killing me.
here.
Nah,
Come on,
he's
man.
a
This is my
70
life.
he's a
This is my
70-year-old
life.
white man in America. He probably still doesn't think he did anything wrong.
What are you?
Yeah,
What's wrong with that?
So what? I give him a payday.
What do you want? The
I didn't fire
WrestleMania
her.
main
you know what?
event?
I was thinking about something interesting just now because Vince is he was always a very like selfish WWE person, but I feel like with Nick Khan and Triple H and Stephanie, they're more business oriented. I would not be surprised if they do a Forbidden Door with AEW, and you have like a New Japan, AEW, ROH, and WWE kind of crossover. And maybe not in the foreseeable future, but I could see that happening if the price is right.
This guy wants fucking pro wrestling Infinity War over here.
I want Eddie. I want who's like the badass of the badasses when it comes to like being on the mic and so like a Kevin Owens versus Eddie Kingston. I want Kenny Omega versus Roman Reigns, bro. I want
R-Truth versus Orange Cassidy stat.
Hands down.
That would be
Hands
cool.
down.
That would be cool.
Match of the year.
That dude gonna be kicking them all soft. R-Truth gonna be like, "What are you doing and why it hurt?"
My bad.
Where's
That's
Lil
on
Jimmy?
me.
Watch Lil Jimmy.
You know what though? It's an interesting thought, Bobby, because think about what a match with like Will Ospreay versus Seth Rollins would be like.
Yeah, it would be awesome. It would be awesome.
That
Kenny
would be
Omega
insane,
versus
right?
Roman Reigns.
100%. That'd be cool.
Kenny Omega versus Roman Reigns would.
Street Profits versus the Young Bucks versus the Usos.
Yeah.
Usos and Young Bucks, like, just imagine if you did a fatal four-way tag match with the Young Bucks.
Mm-hmm.
I would say let's do the Young Bucks, Swerve in Our Glory,
Yes.
the Usos, and the New Day.
Okay.
Oh,
Okay.
that would change up the whole TV.
Tag team wrestling.
Yeah,
I mean,
you would
you could put the Revival in there.
How about Gunther versus Wardlow?
Oh, that'd just be powerhouse.
Fire.
That would be nice. That'd be nice. That'd be real nice.
Guys,
as we say,
I am
Vince's
gonna
face
hop
is
out
still
for a
doing
second,
this.
and I will hop back.
What are you talking about? This is disgusting. Overlay? No, thank you. And as Vince is saying that, you got this guy in the background, like I'm waiting.
Oh yeah.
I'm just
And
waiting for the
I
dark.
I have a feeling he will be there at Clash of the Castle, and I wouldn't be surprised. Well, I will be surprised, but I wouldn't be surprised at the same time because I think Triple H is really working hard to building the bridges back to people he's lost, which
Yes.
is the Fiend, which I feel like a lot of stuff happened because WWE saw him and said you're out of shape. Instead of giving him the time he needed to mourn the loss of a friend, I feel like they rushed him
Right.
back a little bit.
Yeah.
And mental health in this industry is
It's
it's
huge.
big. It's a big part of it.
You're away from your
Uh,
family so long. Those are
Yep.
300 days, 300 plus days out of the year, and you're telling me I'm too fat when I'm depressed. You just kick me to the curb. That's fucked up.
I'm glad that they brought him back on TV, but then they brought him back. They rushed him back. He wasn't the same product. They tried to do the Alexa
Yeah.
Bliss thing with him, or try to continue the Alexa Bliss move with him, and
Yeah.
it didn't.
And
It didn't hit.
it's not even a bad idea to tell somebody to lose weight. It just depends on what they're going through and what you know about them. Because they told Gunther the same thing, and from Walter to Gunther, Gunther is in the best shape of his freaking life.
Yeah, he's
Seriously.
This dude used to wear like 2X's. I think he's wearing a schmedium at this point. Like the dude's walking around jacked,
Yeah,
and
he's
he
looking
pulled
great.
Ginny.
And then-
Yes, I'm still trying to figure out how he did that one, but
Oh, I mean-
neither here nor there.
I
I
also
think
heard-
I agree with a lot of the talk that Triple H. Oh, he's signing too many people. He's not going to sign too
He's
many.
not
I feel like
signing.
he's going to sign
he's
the
getting
enough
back
people
the
that he
people
needs.
that he wants.
Yep,
Triple H
he's
signed.
bringing back the
Triple
people
H
he
signed
needs.
too many people. What's Ruby Soho doing? Where's
Yeah.
Miro? Why
Yeah.
haven't I seen Adam Cole and Red Dragon on Dynamite since they turned on Butts? Why did
Exactly.
Kenny Omega come back at 30%?
Exactly.
Don't tell me he signed too many people.
Yeah, 30%.
They're in the
Exactly.
same boat. They got 4 shows and 3 of them suck.
Yeah.
And
It
they're
doesn't
still
make
adding
any sense.
people.
To me, it really doesn't make any sense because you have all these belting, you have all these good prospects that you could use, and you're not using them. It's just like you have a toy box and you forgot the toys at the bottom. There's the ones that you bought last week.
Yeah.
And it's just like,
And this is the issue that AEW is going to start seeing. And this is the same issue WWE had when they had all this talent and they couldn't showcase a lot of them, and fans were getting mad. Oh, but we want to see X and O's, and we want to see Z and B. And it's like, bitch, I can't bring you everybody because I have 3 hours. And yes, the 3 hours is enough
Yeah.
in Raw to give me enough. But then you want me to put all these 5-star matches on a Raw match on a Raw show that I really can't fit all this. Then in NXT, where they could have capitalized with a lot of these shows, I felt like they didn't capitalize enough, and then you depleted that roster to bring it to your main roster. So there's a lot of issues that I saw that WWE had that now you're going to see AEW is going to have, because now you're going to have wrestlers, and wrestlers from the get-go had already been saying, what, like they've been mad. Swole was the first one that she couldn't she felt mad at the way they were using her and utilizing her.
Hey.
She up and left.
At first, I thought it was just like guys who got they were taken on, and like Joey Janela, and I was just like, okay. I mean, to me, Joey Janela is okay, but he's not like a needle mover in a sense. Not to take a line from Vince, but if you put Joey Janela in the main event, I'm not gonna watch that match. I don't care who it's against. But so when I saw him leave, I was just like, oh, okay, he's just whatever. He doesn't know.
Yeah,
his
but that
place.
wasn't the idea of Joey
But
Janela
from-
at AEW. Joey Janela knows.
Exactly.
Joey Janela jobs in his own company in GCW.
Right.
He knows his spot, and he just wants to put on
Right.
good matches and put over people.
He just wants
That's
to work.
easy
and
money
then
to me.
that's- To me, when the information kept coming out, I was just like, oh, they just don't know how to use the people they have. It's not a sense of people getting mad because they're not on top. It's just because you have so many people and you keep using the same people over and over and over again. And it's like, come on,
Yeah.
you have more than what you have. But Triple H is doing it good. And behind the scenes, I heard a rumor that this dude might be coming back soon to WWE. And remember
And
how
ironically,
unceremoniously he was
Miguel
taking it.
actually dropped a quick question. Not to cut you off, Robbie, but this is a really
Yeah,
good
you
question I just put on the screen. And I'm looking forward to see if we're going to see a Jonah on TV or if we
Mhm.
see a Bray Wyatt on TV. Because I wouldn't be surprised to see any of these two to do this and especially for Jonah, who's been calling to be back on TV somewhere. He was willing to go on TNA or AEW or wherever because he wanted to
Right.
wrestle. He loves the industry. So
But
I'm super excited to see if this is gonna happen.
my
I mean,
thing
he
is
just
that
wrestled Okada like 2 weeks ago.
What?
He
Yeah,
did.
I saw that. I saw that. I heard of that, and I saw like it's funny that that you mentioned that because it's a lot of people that have like a relationship with Triple H. Like he's known as like Uncle Paul in the back, and wrestling in the environment is so much more comfortable. And he's like, I want you to be happy at where you work. It's not going to be like this, you know, magnifying glass over you. This management isn't going to be like micromanaged. It's just love what you do. If you want to go out there and just throw a match and ping off each other and create that chemistry, go for it. If it sucks, it's on you. But if it
Yeah.
works great, I'll let you do it again. It's like he's the fun uncle. He's the calm, cool, collected dad. That's just
But I
like,
also think
I
he's a
want you to play.
mastermind of what he
Go
does. He not only is he
ahead.
being the calm, cool, collected one. I feel like he's very open to advice, and at the same time, he's gonna sit there and go, "Okay, I like what you're going with it, but I'm not. I don't think it will work with this storyline. Why don't we do that and save it for another day?" And I think he's learned a lot in the business. He's been around the business for so long that he's going to capitalize with that and take it to another level.
Yeah,
Because the more he gives these wrestlers too much, sometimes you lose that product. So I think he
right.
knows where the line is of, okay, hey, I'm down to let you do what you got to do, but there's a
Mhm.
line, and I think that right now this isn't working, and if we keep pushing it, it's only gonna make more fans hate it
Yeah,
versus love it. Like Roman Reigns, I feel like had Triple H had his hands on it early on, had Roman
yeah,
Reigns turned heel years ago,
yes.
we would be having a different conversation with Roman Reigns now.
Or with John Cena turning heel when Triple H and him were suggesting it, and Vince was like, "No, I don't want that shit." And I think he was supposed to join NWO at one point, I believe, and they made fun of that with the Firefly Funhouse thing that they did with him and Bray Wyatt. It's like all these alternate universes and all these topics, and ways that you could have sent his character, and you didn't because you're scared that things. It was just like, don't be scared, just do it.
I'm gonna go back
If
to
it
what
works,
Miguel had asked about what are you guys looking forward to this weekend. I got one from each show. I think
yeah,
at Clash of the Castle, the best match of the night is going to be Gunther versus Sheamus. That thing's going to be hard hitting. Then at Worlds
Yep.
Collide, I think Mandy Rhodes is defending against Miko Satomaro, and who's defending her UK Women's title, also defending in a triple threat against Blair Davenport. That's going to be the match of the night. I like Braun Breaker. I'm actually one of those rare fans of Braun Breaker, and I've been a fan of Tyler Bate since day one of his career in WWE. They're going to have a good match, but I think the women are going to see the show at Worlds Collide. And then when it comes
right.
to All Out, there's not a lot of matches I'm looking forward to, but the Acclaimed versus Swerve and Keith Lee, I believe it's happening on All Out. I'm not too sure. But if it does happen at All Out, that's going to be the match of the night. And if it doesn't happen at All Out, I don't know what AEW got going. Because like JC or Nino said earlier in the show, we don't even know what's the main event. It could be the women's, but that's an interim title. I don't really want the interim title closing. TNT title's not
Right.
being defended. TBS title's not being defended. I think the Trios tournament is ending there. That might end up main eventing, especially because we know Omega and the Bucks are going to be winning it. But then the world title just got defended on Dynamite. Who are you really going to throw out there? They got no one to throw out there at this point.
Yeah, and they have no build up for the world title as well. So you're going
Yeah.
into this knowing you can't reuse CM Punk for a rubber match to re-win the
Right.
title. You're going into this saying that we may have to do the trios title as the main event, which may be a good match, but is it going to be the rating dropper that you want?
My
And you have all, like you said, the other titles that you're not even using.
my wishful thinking is that they do know what they're gonna do with the title, and they're just kind of holding off and letting the surprise be what
Even
it
if
is.
they
But
know what
I'm
they're going to
thinking
do with the title,
MJF.
it's not going to be a good match though. Because I'm going to tell you
I'm
this right now,
thinking,
we're a week away from All Out. If MJF was to come back on Wednesday and then he goes and gets the match on Sunday, the TBS title match was made for. Like I said, I don't watch Rampage. It's crap.
Yeah,
It's at 10 o'clock
it's a
on a
filler
Friday
show.
night.
It's 1 hour. It's a filler. It's a filler
Put it on
show, and
Saturday.
I think they need to move it somewhere. Well, one, they don't have any competition, and two, they could get 2 hours.
Mm-hmm. How you
And Saturday would be
gonna
a
try
good
to
bet.
even? Oh, we're gonna try to take viewers from SmackDown after it goes off. Nobody wants to watch wrestling at 10 o'clock at night, bro. On a Friday night,
Yeah,
On a
everybody.
Friday night, they're drunk at that
nobody
point.
wants to watch that.
Yeah,
I know I
it's
am
just-
most days. At 10
you
o'clock,
can't
I'm already
change.
like getting a buzz. I'm like, hey,
Yeah,
I ain't
I'm
everybody's
watching
like
drunk for
that
the
wrestling.
second match
prime
of
time.
SmackDown. No.
That prime time is, speaking of which, we're prime time, but that prime time is like between starting your show at like 6 p.m. to like 8 p.m. And if it runs
Yeah.
too long, they start to lose interest. And I think that Raw has to take their show down to 2 hours because it's like, yeah, you could fill it, but do people really watch that third hour? Or like, unless you have something great going on, they're not really watching that third hour. It's
But
exhausting. It feels like a WrestleMania pay-per-view at that point.
but I tell you what,
Every week.
NXT Golden Black had Triple H had this running through. I could watch 3 hours of NXT Gold Black and Gold. I could. And the reason for it is because every match felt like a 5-star match. Even if it wasn't a 5-star match, every match felt important. Every match had a show that it stole. And I felt like that you could do that with Raw, and I feel like he will do that with Raw. I
It
think
would
we're
be
having
smart.
issues, and AEW is going to see the same thing. They're having issues was filling in shows enough or filling up enough of the show with enough wrestlers, enough matches to say, okay, keep the attention, and then do some promos in the in between. And I think right
Mm.
now AEW and Miguel dropped the comment right now. House of Black versus Miro, Darby and Sting. Darby and I was assuming it meant Darby.
Yeah.
I don't see that as a show stealer because that right there, House of Black is great. Sting is older. Darby has to do most of the wrestling, and Miro is not really getting a lot of TV time. So I don't feel like you're gonna have a fan base that's gonna say, "Oh yeah, I want to see him wrestle right now." You're not really doing much
Right.
with him.
But I think he could perform in a way that would draw that attention and later on and build him, put him back on TV and build him and make storyline for him. If you're going to sacrifice something, you might as well sacrifice something now because it's not like your TV shows are drawing the way that they're supposed to with your storyline. And people are saying, hey, why aren't you using the people that you have? Why aren't you using Mira? This would be perfect because it's not a sense of when to put him on, is if you're going to put him on at this point.
Yeah,
So it just put him on.
and I tell
Just
you
put him
what,
on.
a
Put him
lot
on
of it
every
has
minute.
to do with
I wouldn't be surprised if it's Miro versus Moxley. Give him his
I
shot.
wouldn't be.
Give the people what they
I
want.
wouldn't.
Well, no, because he's saying that House of Black versus Miro, Darby, and Sting is going to be on All Out.
Yes, I did
Oh,
see
oh!
that.
I thought it was a fantasy
Yeah.
match. I haven't been keeping up with AEW.
No. Well, I mean, I don't see it on the official card, but he probably watches Rampage more than I do. I don't watch. I haven't.
Okay.
I haven't watched Rampage since like middle of December. It's just they don't do nothing different. They really don't, and they kind of treat it like a AEW dark premium, and it's just I can't get into the type of things they do. I used to get into the outside shows when I was younger, but it's no different from
Sunday
main
Night Heat.
event superstars and just Heat and Velocity. It's matches just to put on. Those are dark matches that you're watching on TV pretty much. Like it's really not
Yeah.
much you can get into. I could sit down and watch it. I still record it. I just delete them because I don't see too much things happening on that. I mean, I don't watch main event anymore, or I didn't watch Superstar before they got rid of it. And I sure as hell don't watch Level Up, NXT Level Up, and I stopped watching 205 Live a while ago. So
Yeah.
but before now it's Level Up, but
Yeah.
it's just those shows. If you're presenting those shows as these are whatever matches, they're gonna be whatever matches. I'm just not gonna
Exactly.
tune in. Especially when you have Hook go on there and get challenged by some reality star. I don't give a shit about that.
Yeah.
It's
And
true.
it's like you give him a title, and Hook is good. I find him very entertaining. But if you don't give him the right people to carry a good match with, it's not gonna. It's like him and Danhausen only could do as much as a comic. There's only so much that you can do with him to the point that you become a comic relief, and then he gets stuck in that area.
And that comment right there, that explains Rampage. The only time to watch Rampage is when it's live.
Yeah.
I'm gonna fast forward through that. I'm gonna end up recapping it in 10 minutes and be like, "Oh, that happened." Cool. Okay.
Yeah.
Like he said, Cargill versus Athena got announced for the TBS championship at All Out on Rampage. Why are you treating that title like crap? I have yet to see the TBS championship main event TBS. That don't make sense.
Yeah.
The TNT
That really
title
doesn't
main
make
event
sense.
to TNT. TBS title don't. It don't make sense to me. TBS
And
title
you
has
got
main event to
Jade,
TNT before with Rampage,
and you
but
got Jade over there
not,
working her
not like
ass off, and there's a lot of good talent that I would love to see whether again or not. I don't know if they've wrestled yet, but Soho versus Jade, that'd be tight.
Soho hasn't wrestled like maybe 3 people in this company so far.
Yeah, it's like okay,
Like
well,
they're not using her correctly. They're not. There's a lot of people that are still signed with AEW that they're not being used. And Miro just re-signed for 4 years a couple months ago.
yeah.
We'll see
Well,
what happens with that deal.
if he resigned, that means it's something that he sees or a conversation that he had that it's like, oh, okay, because
You could say that
it's
about the
one
guys that
unknown.
re-signed with WWE at the time, especially Roderick Strong.
Yeah,
It's the same boat.
you can.
They see
It's
something now,
that
but
same
the company
situation.
is not taking their time to make them important.
Yeah.
They're not bad at storytelling. Jungle Boy versus Christian Cage could be a good match, and Starks versus Hobbs is going to be a good match. Obviously, Bryan versus Jericho is going to be a good match. They're not bad on storytelling. They miss a lot of marks. And announcing 4 matches a week before the pay-per-view doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah. I think when it comes to they're like, I give him the benefit of the doubt, not because I'm biased, because I'm not really biased nowadays because Triple H is in charge of WWE, but when Vince was in charge, I gave him a little mulligan. This is what their 3rd year going is. Are they going on their 3rd year or going on their 4th year?
They debuted in October of 2019, so 2021. So we're going on their 3rd full year.
They're going on their 4th year. I mean, you're trying to understand but this is pretty much like Tony Khan is what they like to say. I don't want to disrespect him, but he's a mark with money.
Yes, no, 100%. And you know what? With that statement, though, and with that statement, when he went and said that he was the longest tenured booker, and he started saying he was one of the better bookers, and I'm like, wait a second, we're not sitting there and downgrading what Vince did prior.
Yeah, it's a poor stage joke.
Yeah, it was a poor stage joke. You know what he should have done?
Yeah,
Vince left, and with everything going on, just do your
somebody in AEW should have paid him hush money.
with company money.
With company money, yeah.
But to me, you're 3 years in. Imagine if we took JPW to AEW standards. You know what I mean? And it's just like we're 3 years in. What do we do? How do we make this fresh? How do we make it? Obviously, our minds are different, but we're still working at the kinks when it comes to promoting, when it comes to taking our wrestlers. Everybody's going to have a voice. Dan is going to say this. Josh is going to say that. Perez is going to say this. Da, 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 da. Where's our women's division? Da, 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 blah, 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 blah. So it's like, how do we balance things out? So I still kind of give them a leeway because I'm like, if I was running, if we, I should say, were running a wrestling company, I wouldn't know what the hell to do. So I think a good way, a step forward that he did is he delegated Tony delegated a lot of things. It was like, okay, you take care of talent, you take care of this, you take care of production, I'll take care of all this stuff, except for him just doing everything. And now that you're starting to hear, it was like, okay, communication is becoming better in the background, except for trying to talk to one dude who's doing a million things. Does he still need other people to take over a lot more and who are more experienced and know how to run it, except for running his company in the ground like WCW did? Yes, he needs more people 100%. And he needs more experience, but that takes time. So it's gonna be great that first year of AEW. Wow, there's something different, but there's also things like, oh, they bought ROH. Why? Are we rebranding it? Are we taking over their talent? Or what are you doing? If you're taking over ROH, what are you going to do with Rampage? Because Rampage seems like a waste of time. So are you going
they should easily, and this is what I said when I heard that they bought him. He should have made Rampage Ring of Honor. Make it Ring of Honor.
That's it. You have a 2-hour
You
Ring
now
of
have
Honor,
a
and
platform.
it goes back
Saturday
and forth.
too.
Yes.
Yeah. That'll be fine.
Get it off Friday at 10 o'clock. Put Ring of Honor on Saturdays. Or hell, if you want to do a Thursday or something, put it on where people are going to watch it. You're not going to compete with a SmackDown right now because you're going to try to take it from them. So you do a Thursday or you do a Saturday, and maybe you integrate and make a Friday Night War or something like that. But right now, with him buying Ring of Honor, all he did was buy another division to create and try to store talent to do nothing with it.
Yeah.
I would make Ring of Honor the war against NXT. That's what it should be.
Yeah.
The
If you
Ring of
want to make it
Honor
a
and
war,
Ring
but
of
just
Honor.
don't go head on Tuesday nights. But
Right.
you could have made it work.
I think it is an American team. Um, I think when it comes to ROH should be a development company for AEW.
Be their NXT.
Be their NXT, as Jay said. You know, you get rid of Rampage. You make a ROH show that's 2 hours long, and then you either put it on, as you said, on Thursdays, or you put it on Saturdays, and then you have the storylines kind of tie in with AEW on Wednesdays. So it's just like kind of pinging off each other. You maybe have a match or two, and then on ROH you have a match or two. So it's bringing that crowd, and you're pulling from both ways and putting it on, and just building it until you build it to a point where you're comfortable and people are actually watching. Then it is on ends. So, all right. So it's just I don't know where they're going with it. Me personally, I'd love to see what Triple H is doing. He has a platform. He just has to build off of it, and he had a beautiful vision with NXT Black and Gold, and I love what he's doing with the main roster. NXT 2.0 is the developmental league to NXT Black and Gold, which now just happens to be the WWE main roster, Raw or
Yeah.
SmackDown. And that's what we've been asking for years. And it's funny, again, not to get religious on y'all, but God works in mysterious ways because we've been asking as fans for this. We need Vince out. Vince is stale. Vince is stale. Vince is stale. And it takes craziness to blossom into this beautiful company that we have right now where you have those guys. I can't wait to see Ricochet do his thing.
Yeah.
Guys that were just too small that Vince was like, you don't have the beef. What the hell is beef? Just because you're not 400 pounds and 7 feet tall doesn't mean that you're gonna. It's like, look at Omos. Omos can barely move.
Look
Even
at Johnny
like,
Gargano coming back to a huge pop.
exactly.
Yeah.
Even
You know,
though
and
half the
JC
crowd doesn't know who
and
he is.
PrimeTime Nino made a great comment that they didn't spoil the return by announcing it or saying, "Oh, up next is going to be a promo from let
No
them
one even knew
pop."
he was backstage.
Let them. I know until like he got to the gorilla position,
Yeah.
nobody knew he was there. That's awesome. You know,
You know,
you
I
got
want
guys like
more of
Cody
that.
Rhodes. Guys like Cody Rhodes who went off and did their thing and made a name for themselves, come back and being lower to mid card, and now you're heading. You're like the biggest pop of WrestleMania. You're headlining pay-per-views. You're in Hell in a Cell matches with torn pectoral muscles and doing your thing.
One
Like you're
tit.
showing what you're showing what you're worth, and it's like this is what Vince couldn't see, and it's because his mind was so tunnel vision, and Triple H is not there. He lets every single style of wrestling do its thing and have its time of day. And you're saying, like, I would say by the end of the year into mid next year, WWE is going to change totally. And I think that's what a lot of guys and girls who went to to AEW are seeing. They were like, I left because of Vince, but I want to go back because of Triple H.
Yep.
And that's where AEW is going to have to start using these toys that they haven't been using, because a lot of the ones that they called over and gave them a better light, it's like, oh, well, the company I left is exactly the way that I wanted it now. So why would I stay here if I know I could have a better lifestyle over there? I don't
And I have
care
an
who
And to go
this is
back to
point.
And to go back to what you said about Ricochet, I think if he pushes Ricochet to a certain height and Ricochet to where Ricochet can be, that's how you. I think that's going to convince Will Ospreay to come over. Because while everything is changing, I don't think Ospreay is still going to be sold that a guy like him and Ricochet could still go to the top. So if you could push Ricochet to that point, not only are you exposing Ricochet as one of the top guys and making him a top guy, and really showing what he can do in his prime, but you're also going to probably get Will Ospreay, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
And don't forget that Kota Ibushi is still a free agent. The dude left New Japan, hasn't shown up on AEW.
Yeah.
So he's still out
And
there.
Santos is
available.
what's his name? What's his name from
Santos
NXT 2.0? Santos Escobar and Legado. I heard that they're
On their
going to
way,
be
yeah.
all of them.
He
All of them.
he
The whole
picked the
faction.
he picked them up on Tuesday.
I'm
Hopped
like,
in the
that
car and they
is
left.
Come on, we're
awesome.
going to Raw.
Yeah. I'm like, that's
You know
awesome.
what?
Like,
And
you
I have an
see that.
idea that I feel like he
trust
may
them.
pop up at Castle, and he may make his presence be felt by whoever it is he's going to be challenging, whether it's going to be for the title or it's going to be a whatever match. You may see him in the background, but I think you're going to see his presence felt this weekend.
That's a long drive.
It is a long drive.
From Orlando to Cardiff.
But he got money. He got money. He got a whole new car. He's the man driving has a car that has wings.
Yeah. Yeah.
Clash at the Castle is cool because it's going to be the first full pay-per-view that they got.
Starting from scratch with their
it's fully under the Triple H creative regime.
I think that's why they're making such a big deal out of it, because usually their overseas pay-per-views, they're just like, put a couple of matches together and just just let it do. And then when you come back to the States, that's what really happens. Like they'll make a Raw.
It doesn't matter if it doesn't happen in the US.
Right, and I think that's Triple H had that left a bad taste in his mouth, because he's like, why is that what does that even matter? So I think he's going to change the environment of WWE again after he already did. Yeah, it's crazy to think about that. And what they're doing in NXT UK and making NXT Europe, that's going to be even bigger. Because I actually like that move, because it's a sacrifice now, but it's going to be a bigger situation later, because you're taking pieces of the puzzle from everywhere. It's just like NXT India. Like what they were trying to do with that is, it fell through. It fell through because Vince didn't know what to do with it. And he kept everything was just shut down. He didn't watch the show. He didn't care. And Triple H cares. And it's like, for me, it's on a grander scale when Pop and Felix took me to NXT for the first time, and I saw Finn Balor versus Shinsuke Nakamura. When I popped for what was the name of that? American Alpha. When I was a super fan of it,
Chad Gable and Jason Jordan. Yep.
Yes, it was just like
they quietly broke up for no reason.
To make
it wasn't quiet. It was revealed that Jason is Kurt Angle's son.
And to that stupid storyline, and then making this dude and insulting him, calling him Shorty G, and it was like, okay, right. So
I'm glad that he got a better character with his new team.
I like it.
And Otis.
It's fine. They need to work on it. They need to work on it. It's kind of comical, but I think they need like one more. I think if they put Gable Stevenson with them, it would be like a faction. Make it a faction.
I don't think they should make that a faction. I think leave it a team is fine. But I think with the way they can make it serious is that how they make the Viking Raiders serious now. Yeah. What are they calling them? The serious Viking Raiders. But if you sit there and make them serious and actually make this a fight, that you can still keep it very comical, but then have that moment when they're fighting wrestlers who are not about the jokes and they're just here to beat that ass. I think this is where you're going to get a lot of attention within, where you can change that character or that team from being very comical to just a focused fight.
I think we can make it a faction, but instead you're going to make Chad Gable and Otis two singles competitors and bring over the Creed brothers from NXT. Because they got, again, legit mat wrestling experience, like Gable Stevenson and his brother Damian Camp, who's also in Diamond Mine. But I think Creed brothers would be better with the Alpha Academy. And I think bringing up Damian Camp to be with his brother Gable Stevenson would be the move. Maybe even send Gable Stevenson's over to NXT, because, I mean, the dude hasn't done anything since being drafted a Raw.
Right.
True.
I don't even know what he's doing anymore.
Who's that the UK team?
Pretty
NXT
Deadly.
UK, Pretty Deadly. Yeah, I like.
When you said as the first one I thought about is those. They could be the new Hollywood blondes, but the UK blondes or something like that, keeping it Pretty Deadly.
They low key became one of my favorites because they were jobbers at the start of NXT UK. They were literal jobbers. They weren't signed. They were UK guys that they just needed to lose all the time, and they were losing every single week. Next thing you know, they were the UK Tag Team Champions.
Yeah. Hard work pays off.
Sometimes taking that L helps you.
Yeah. You never know. Taking one step back could be 3 steps forward in that situation. That's exactly what happened.
And then, of course, the big test with all this Triple H regime coming in is going to be at the Royal Rumble, because this is going to be probably the most anticipated Royal Rumble of all time.
Who's coming? Who's going to
I would not mind seeing Cody Rhodes come out 29 and MJF come out 30.
Do you really think MJF is going to be
He's gone.
And then
WWE?
MJF is
then
gone.
redo Cody versus MJF at WrestleMania? Forget about it. That's how Cody Rhodes is going to make him a star in WWE.
Okay.
I think
the
I
promo
think Cody
between
would
the two of them would be nice.
Oh yeah,
that should be
The
magic.
promotions.
I
between
hope
the
you
two
know,
of them
and I don't
would
know
be-
if they made mention to it. I hope Triple H gets rid of these scripted promos. Give them bullets to hit.
Mhm.
Don't let these guys be on the script.
He's been
I
dabbling.
think for the
with it
most
because
part
you
it is.
see
I don't
like
think it's that
more
scripted.
loose than it usually is. I think it's more
Yeah.
pointers. Like this is what you're doing. This is what you're promoting. Go out and say whatever you want, but make sure you hit those points. And you see it with like it was McIntyre that he did a few promos like that, especially at SummerSlam. It's just like even the night of him taking over, you're just like, kind of do your own thing, but we're promoting this. And
Yep.
I think as we've had that going on with Raw and SmackDown, you see that a lot. It's just like, do what you want. Because you might have an idea that I didn't even think about, and it works.
Do what you want. What?
You gotta do what I tell you.
Put that
in
comment
your
on the
ear.
screen. Put that comment on the screen.
Do you want?
Because that's the move right there. This is the move. You bring Owen and Sami Zayn back together, and they defeat the Usos for the Undisputed Tag Team Championships. That's the move. Sammy needs to cut his hair, shave down his beard, and I mean, we got fight.
He looks like Fidel Castro.
We got the prize
Yeah,
fighter
he need
Kevin
to clean
Owens
up.
back, dude. Kevin Owens
He
literally
need to clean
came out on Raw in Canada in his NXT gear and his NXT Tron. I mean, this is you put Owens and Sammy together as a team that, hell yeah, I'll believe they could beat the Usos.
Oh yeah. I think that'll be the team that they could use and push to beat the Usos to take it away from them finally.
And just brainstorming about different things, thinking about that, I'm also remembering not only is Royal Rumble going to be anticipated, but Survivor Series is going to be anticipated.
That's a big show that they've been talking about. I can't wait for
There's
Series.
rumors that War Games is going to be involved. I mean, shit, they can make NXT involved again. I mean, I think they can go all out with this.
I think Survivor Series should. I loved when Survivor Series had the NXT team on there.
Yeah, that was really cool.
And they
it
won.
was like a takeover. It's
And
funny
they won.
because Triple H made it a takeover and they won. It's funny because anytime WWE, especially when it was NXT Black and Gold, anytime you could mention any pay-per-view, I don't care what it was, I didn't care if it was WrestleMania. When they did a takeover, it was better than the pay-per-view that was the night after. And I think they stopped that because there was 2 years in a row where they did an NXT takeover that was better than WrestleMania.
Hands down.
Yeah, and Vince did not like that.
We would
And
watch
now-
Takeover and need a cigarette afterwards, and then they would bring on WrestleMania, and we'll be like, I'm done.
I just can't. I have
can't.
no more
What
energy.
bullshit you're gonna give me now? I don't care.
I don't care about Brock Lesnar versus Roman Reigns 6. Like, I really don't.
That's
And
dumb.
then to
Hopefully.
take a match like that and to revive it the way that they did, and Triple H being like, okay, let's just fine tune this and do that and blah, 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 and make it the way that they did. You want to see another, or at least I do. I want to see another one under Triple H's creativity of Roman Reigns versus Brock Lesnar because it's so different. It was
Make it without the title.
Even though it was the exact same match. You don't even need the title. Both of them are they don't need the title. They're bigger than
just another rubber match between these guys.
Yeah, just another back and forth. There's just like when you have the right chemistry, which they have, and when you have the right creativity in the background, you could do whatever. Like, look, they just by lifting the ring with a tractor. It's a memorable match that you've done 7 times before.
Bull, when he threw the mic and Roman caught it like it was nothing, boop,
And
didn't
winked
even
at-
move. Yeah, and then gave it to Paul like to hold the shit.
And Paul couldn't say anything because Brock Lesnar promoted himself so good that Paul didn't even talk. Usually, Paul Heyman's he's the wise man, and he talks up Roman Reigns. He's like, I can't top that. This is good. And Paul
It was
Heyman being a
proper
part of
attention.
creative is great. I'm super anticipated. Super anticipated. What do y'all think? I'm feeling to get out of here.
What
What
about
prime time
what?
at? Huh?
So Nino couldn't. He's having issues connection over at his house, so he's not. He's probably not going to be able to rejoin us. He'll rain check
he
that
did
one and
reach out to
join
us.
us in another episode.
We could do another one. I wouldn't mind this again.
Oh heck yeah! But
And Miguel just commented there was freedom when it came to putting a match together in NXT. Because they still did it the WWE way. You still had an agent, you started to talk about spots, you still had to veto the things that they weren't going to allow to do in the matches, but it was a lot more freedom of, okay, you want to do this, let's talk about this. You want to do that, let's talk about this. So, I mean, it comes down, and the main roster was, you could do that, but Vince isn't going to like it.
yep.
Yeah.
That's the main point. Now it's just because it's either
heard?
in the main roster right now, it's Triple H. And then in NXT and NXT, UK, Europe, whatever, is going to be Shawn Michaels. Triple H is on top, but Shawn Michaels is the next guy. So Shawn Michaels is the new Triple H. Triple H moved up to be the new Vince. So those are just two guys that know creativity.
Yeah.
I mean, I always say it was one of my favorite matches of all time, and I give you guys props for introducing me to NXT and reviving my love for wrestling again. But my favorite match is the first ever North American title match with that ladder match.
Oh yeah, that stole the show.
You took so many guys that were either lower to mid-level and coming into NXT and made one of the greatest matches.
And Lars Sullivan.
He's not even lower level.
He should not be named. That's Voldemort.
You had the new guys, the low level, Lars Sullivan, all in that ladder match. And speaking of a guy in that ladder match, there's rumors that Big Damo's on his way back too.
I heard
Killian Dane.
I did not hear that one.
He's bald now, but
I would like to see what that would do. I would like to see what that would look like.
Partner him with his wife. His wife is right there.
Yeah. They need to stop it. They're about to stop the superhero.
Yeah.
Thank God.
You got so many like female and male couples there that you can make it storylines that go. You can make a division out of that shit right now.
Bring back the mixed match challenge. That shit was fun.
Yes, that was fun. He had like Carmella.
I want to see Bianca and Montez.
Ooh.
I think you have enough wrestling
versus Charlotte and Andrade.
You have enough wrestling couples that you can actually do a couples edition of mixed match.
Yeah, there is enough.
And
it's not like they're hiding them; they're very open about it.
Yeah. You got Jimmy and Naomi. You have Tez and Bianca. You could bring back Killian Dane and put him with Nikki. I know Andrade wants to come back, but that's to be determined with them because he's on contract. Right. Miz and Maurice.
Yes.
Johnny and Candice.
Yes.
I will still say Indy and Dexter Loomis.
Just for
Carrion and Scarlett.
Yeah.
Carrion and Scarlett. You got 7 right there.
Dang. Can Corey Graves wrestle ever again?
He could because he got
cleared recently. So I wouldn't be shocked they tried something.
Because Corey and Carmella. There you go.
Corey and Carmella, huh?
That'd be tight. Because Corey, I remember
Michael Cole.
I do not want to see Michael Cole in a slinglet ever again.
Michael Cole, baby.
I don't want to see him.
Speaking of commentators, I'm hoping Triple H can bring back Mauro Ranallo.
Oh yes, he was a huge name. Oh my God,
the only problem is
Mamma Mia!
And bring him to Raw.
I would, but Jimmy Smith is doing a fantastic job there. He gelled better than Adam Verk did, whatever that guy's name was. He gelled in way better. Jimmy Smith is actually and he learned a lot, and he's calling the matches a lot better. And I think working with Corey and Byron really helped him. And then on SmackDown, you got Michael and this guy, Pat McAfee, the greatest punter of all time. I think you could maybe put him as like a special. I would put him as a special commentator and put him wherever you need him.
Okay.
Just kind of like what you do with Jim Ross anyways in AEW.
Yeah.
I would use him as a because he still does MMA and boxing. So
right, NXT Black and Gold when he was commentating, like he made the matches. It takes good commentating to make the match.
Yeah.
So he did a great job. I would love to see him back. I would love to see that back.
Put him in a match at WrestleMania with JBL.
Ooh.
JBL could go kick rocks. All right, for them.
He could in a match against Morrow. Make Morrow have him kick the rocks.
It's wrong.
Oh, man.
All right, well,
All right,
guys, a lot of stuff happened, a lot of conversations happened here. I know we did lose PrimeTime Nino halfway in, but still, guys, drop some more comments on here. I love what we got here. We had a lot of feedback here, a lot of questions.
Yes, thank you,
let us
Miguel,
know what
for
else.
pitching in so much.
Yes, thank you, Miguel. And like always, Robbie said early on, please, guys, go on here, like and subscribe to the channel. Follow us on TheRatedF on our Instagram and our Twitter, and so you guys can get a lot of the updates. Also, stay in tune with the JPW champion here, Jay Xavier, as we go on to his shows as well. Guys,
we have a lot of shows, a lot of cool things coming to JPW soon. And if you go into the JPW YouTube right now, the JPW podcast is back in the revamp era, and we got an episode with Danny Barnes, Perez, and the Cliffhanger.
Nice.
Check it out, guys.
Who's been the Cliffhanger and Danny Barnes have been regulars on our show, guys, so you definitely know those names.
Yes.
Before we go off, Jay, you got anything any farewell things you want to mention?
Follow our journey, because this might be around the shoulder of Jay Xavier for quite a bit. So make sure you tune in to see what's going to be happening on JPW, baby. Let's go.
Amen to
Bye
that.
bye.
and to be honest, like that, the commentating for JPW is the most fun that I have ever had in a very, very long time. I would love for Rated F to be a part of that again if you'd have us. That'd be awesome.
You can't take it, Miguel. It's not happening. I'll face you and Nino. I'll kick both your asses. Let's go. I'm undisputed for a reason. It's going to stay shiny on my wall. Don't worry about it.
Oh, my God. That's funny. Well, all right, baby.
All right, guys. Good having you guys here. Till next time.
Yes, sir. Bye.
Wow, this is the thrill. Welcome to the thrill. Giving you something that's real.